Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Miss Fin Show. I am your host, Miss Fins. Thank you so much for coming through, guys. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for coming through. Much appreciated, ladies and gentlemen. We have a great show for you guys today, like we do every week. Today, we are going to be recapping week 15. We're going to be taking a look at our standings and our week 16 projections, ladies and gentlemen. We're also going to be touching upon a couple other subjects as well. But it's going to be fun, like always, guys. But do me a favor, please hit that like button. Hit that like button, guys. Let everybody else know we are live. Shout out to everybody coming through. Good morning, Delusional Patriots fan. The first one in the building. Love it. Fins up, see ya full. Thank you. You can skip the Patriots. Come on, man. You guys are in the division, okay? I still gotta talk about you guys. Hit that like button, guys. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Much appreciated. Look, we're gonna talk about every single team, so don't you worry. But it is what was I gonna say? It is very interesting how, you know, some teams are doing a little bit better than others. Nothing wrong with that. It's just the name of the game, guys. So go ahead, hit that like button, share, subscribe. And again, welcome to the AFC East show, guys. I'm so happy and so proud to have you guys over here. As you can see, we're doing a new layout. So hopefully you guys really do appreciate it because I know I'm super excited for it. Let's go ahead and start out with the Jets, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the Jets had a game this week. They finally beat somebody. I know none of us believe it, but yes, finally the Jets have beat somebody, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, this game was, I mean, what's to be expected? I mean, at this point, I kind of thought it took a little bit long for Aaron Rodgers and for the Jets to finally get a win. I didn't think it would take this long though, and this definitely took a lot longer than what I anticipated. But I'm not entirely surprised. It's still the Jets, ladies and gentlemen. At least they finally got a win. They brought up their season up to 4-10 now. So now they are 4-10. So they're a little bit better. As you can see, vintage performance by Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers carry the Jets past defenseless Jaguars 32-25. Devontae Adams and Rodgers gave the New York Jets next general manager and head coach something to ponder with a glimpse into the past and potentially the future, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that 32-25 win. Right now, they are number 8 in the draft order. So if you were to go to the Tankathon, ladies and gentlemen, you would have the New Jersey Jets, the New York Jets. They're actually currently right now number 8 in the draft order, according to Tankathon.com, because that's literally where I get it from. They're 4-10. Only Cleveland, Tennessee, Carolina, Jacksonville, New England, Giants, and Vegas are number one. Clearly, Jacksonville is not looking to win, so I'm not even surprised. Again, you saw from the AP, their defense wasn't really trying that much. So, what could we expect from them? Really, not that much. I'm not surprised at all. As you can see, both teams were able to score in that first half of the first half. Jets scored 7, 13 by the Jaguars. But that second half, that's really where the Jets defense kind of clamped down a little bit more. And they were able to go ahead and limit the amount of production by the Jaguars offense. And finally, like the AP alluded to earlier, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams finally getting touchdowns. As you can see in that third quarter touchdown, one yard touchdown by Aaron to Devontae. And then again in the fourth quarter, you had the 71 yarder that Aaron sent over to Adams. That one, I'm not gonna lie, that one was a lot better. They were able to convert that 2 point conversion, so that's good for them just to try to give themselves a little bit of cushion. But again, you can see over here the defense still let up and allowed the Jags to get that 43-yard field goal. Mm. You also had Brees Hall rush in for that 1 yard line. This is a literal reason why the um the Jets were able to win. You know, that extra touchdown that they got late by Brees Hall. Funny enough, this game kind of broke down how the Miami Dolphins played the Jets 2 weeks ago. It was practically the exact same thing. It was kind of back and forth, and then we tied it up with that last touchdown at the end of the game. Came back, and in overtime, we were able to go ahead and win, get the touchdown, and take the win from the Jets. Essentially, the same thing kind of happened here, but the Jets were able to do it within the 4 quarters. We just needed the extra time. Mac Jones, 31 of 46, 294 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers playing a pretty decent game, just above 500 though, or 50% completion at 16 for 30, 289 yards and 3 touchdowns. ETN for the Jags had 14 carries, 65 yards, and you had Aaron Rodgers, which I'm shocked because he's like 100 years old. But 6 carries for 45 yards. Um, that's kind of sad, being that they have Brees Hall and Aaron Rodgers ended up being the one with more yardage. Then you had a field day for Devontae Adams. He had 9 receptions, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns versus Brian Thomas Jr., the rookie, who had 10 receptions, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I'll tell you this: he was only 200 yards away, or 2 yards away from 200 yards. Why couldn't you get the last 2 yards? Look, the Jets right now are not really trying to win, but this was just an inevitable win that they had. I'm not even surprised that they ended up winning. Like I said, the Jets defense definitely played a little bit better, getting those 2 turnovers. And the Jets not allowing any turnovers on their side. The yardage was kind of the same between both teams: 400 for the Jets, 421 for the Jags, and the first down's the same: 22 for the Jets, 27 for the Jags. So this ended up being a very even game. Except time of possession definitely favored the Jags, which means the Jets defense was definitely a little bit more gassed there. I will tell you this: this was in Jacksonville. I've been to this stadium, guys. They've got a pool in there, a literal pool. Like, you see where this camera angle is setting? The pool is literally on this side of the field. Like where my little cursor is at, it's right on this corner. It's awesome. That's all I gotta say. It's dope. And people, yes, people do go in it. So it's gonna be very interesting. But that is the Jets beating the Jacks, ladies and gentlemen. What does this mean for the Jets? Again, they're not trying to play hard. They don't have a head coach, they don't have a GM. All they're trying to do is just try to get through the next steps. And at this point, it's to honestly just try to get the most they can. Again, they're eighth in the draft order. They're probably gonna stay top 10 anyways. So we just have to see how that shakes up. The next thing, ladies and gentlemen, again, I appreciate everybody coming through the AFC East show, guys. Is gonna be, does Aaron Rodgers stay in New York? Because a lot of people are actually taking a look. Is Aaron Rodgers trying to even stay in New York? He's had the Pat McAfee show a few times. Um, and he's pretty much saying he still wants to play. His first option is New York. He wants to say the way his contract is up, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is his last year, but they have an option for next year, if I'm not mistaken. But was this win enough to keep Rodgers, especially with the way he played with Devontae Adams? I'm not sure. I think this is very interesting. Um, I don't know if he burned the bridges with the Jets anymore. Because if you take a look at it, the Jets did everything to bring him. They brought in players from the Packers. They just brought in his favorite target in Devontae Adams. But they also got rid of the coach, head coach and GM, really for Rodgers, even though that was kind of already there before. What do you expect? Does the new head coach and GM, do they even want to keep this guy? Has he shown them enough for them to keep him? I don't think he has. Um, but obviously, there's gonna be a huge question for the new GM and the new head coach to see if they want to keep him. He can be a bridge quarterback. I will give you that, especially if he ends up being cheaper than what he's costing them right now, because right now he's costing them about $50 million a year. If he's willing to take a pay cut and they draft a quarterback, which it looks like they might be attempting to do this year, which I think they need, obviously, then he could be a good bridge quarterback, just not at $50 million, because clearly there's a lot that the Jets need. So I wouldn't have paid him as much, but we got to see, ladies and gentlemen, what ends up being. Guys, again, thank you so much for coming through to the AFC East Week 15 recap. Do me a favor, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Thank you so much for coming through. Appreciate it. Let's see who else is here. Let's check it out. Who else is here? Obviously, like and subscribe. We've got, of course, Michael K in the building. What's up, Michael K? There's only one team in the East we're talking about. You're right. The Miami Dolphins, baby. Let's go. Good morning, JD the Great. Good morning, Miss Phins. Great show last night. Thank you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was a blessing. It was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of fun. I truly enjoyed it, and I continue to try to get Miss Phins out there for us. Patriots fans, sorry in advance for the beating. Oh Lord. You think I don't want that beating? That's funny. I want it just like I wanted the Cardinals beating. Hey, see, delusional Patriots fan, obviously, he's super okay. He wants to lose. So it makes sense that he's okay with the Patriots losing. Me personally, I find it hilarious. Obviously. Let's see what else we got in here. Michelle's in the building. What's up, Michelle? What's up, everybody? Emojis, emojis, emojis. Michael K. Last day of work for a couple weeks. I will work from home for the next few hours between Christmas and New Year. Congratulations, man. I'm happy for you. Very happy. Bills fan in the building. Doesn't matter. Washed. I know Aaron Rodgers is super washed, but we gotta see at the end of the day, you never know what to expect when it comes to the Jets. To be honest with you, the Jets always surprise because they somehow find a way to just make the wrong moves, and I'm here for it as a Dolphin fan. I'm not gonna lie. Aaron had a two-type game, slaps up the trash teams, gets stats, gets money. Hey, at least it pays. What's up, Nathaniel Ross? Welcome. Good morning, Miss Phins. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can't wait till the playoff calculator makes an appearance. So, maybe so. I mean, it is what it is. Dolphin Don, welcome. It's Fins fam, everybody. Good morning. Good morning to you, sir. Fizz Sanity in the building. Good morning, Fizz Sanity. You were live last night? Yes, I was live at um the AFC's roundtable. It was a great show. It was a great show, guys. So if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, go ahead and hit up the AFC's roundtable for the Dolphins roundtable. It was great. I had so much fun. I appreciated they asked TD and I were able to go ahead and get together, and it was me, CB, obviously TD, and Big C from his new show, the Fins, another Fins Dolphins podcast. Man, it's like a million of them at this point. But yes, I was live and it was awesome. I truly enjoyed it, so it was great. Miss Finn Skyler was brought back. Yes, let's go. My QB's back. uh, oh my God, Michael K. Finn Skyler, is it true you took down the fat head of Tua? Michael K. No, I actually bought a bigger one. Of course. Skull! Skull in the building, our Jets fan. Finn Skyler, I'm not running, y'all beat us. Exactly. 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 Oh man, you guys are hilarious. So let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. The second team that we got that we're obviously going to be discussing, it's going to be the New England Patriots, ladies and gentlemen. The Patriots lose to the Cardinals, guys. 30-17 loss, top 3 pick in the draft. As you saw, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how they end up going, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about now the New England Patriots and their loss to the Cardinals. Again, the Patriots are not trying to win. James Conner runs for 2 touchdowns, and Cardinals snap a 3-game skid by beating the Patriots 30-17. Just 5 plays into Sunday's game, Arizona had lost 2 starting linebackers to injury, according to the AP. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a major loss, in my opinion. Sometimes you can lose, you can win by losing, you can lose by losing, but you can also lose by winning but losing players. And that's the worst. Especially losing and then losing players. That's like the worst. But at least, you know, they won this game. Right now, Cardinals are 7-7. Patriots are 3-11. Very happy to be 3-11, as you can see over here. That first half, honestly, the first 3 quarters, the Patriots were having some trouble moving the ball downfield. The Cardinals defense definitely stepped up a little bit more than expected. Obviously, in the fourth quarter, everybody's tired. Both teams were able to drop 14 points on each other, but it was still a tough one for sure for the Patriots. They did get that lone score, that 50-yarder by Joe Sly to not get shot out in the first half. And then Drake May was able to get those 2 fourth quarter touchdowns to try to bring the game a little bit closer and more manageable. But it was at the end of the day um, too much for them to overcome. Drake May, he had 19 of 23, 202 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, guys. Kyler Murray, 23 of 30, 224 yards. Ramondre Stevenson ended up being 13 of 69, 13 carries, 69 yards. And James Conner, 16 carries for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. Realistically, man, that Patriots defense allowed the run game to be the one to beat them. Obviously, we already know Kyler Murray. He can scramble. Kyler Murray can throw the ball downfield. He can throw and pretty much do any gadget throw that you might need. He can throw it within the numbers, outside the numbers. So that's never really a problem. But they decided to go ahead and utilize James Conner, one of the best running backs in the league. I think he's top 15 in my opinion. Some say top 10. To me, top 15. But clearly, that Patriots defense, that run stop defense was not there for them when they allowed James Conner to go ahead and eat. Obviously, it doesn't hurt that your quarterback also throws an interception. But again, he's a rookie. What do you expect? I don't really put too much emphasis on rookies because again, they're rookies. They're acclimating to the NFL. There's really not much you can expect from them except for them perhaps um, being able to overcome a couple of things here and there. Some rookies are more prepared for the NFL than others. There's nothing wrong with that as well. We had Kellen Bourne, 3 receptions, 44 yards. And McBride, 9 receptions, 87 yards for the Cardinals. The Cardinals were supposed to win and win big, and that's exactly what we ended up seeing. Them being favored by 5.5. As you can see, Patriots just didn't have a chance to win this game. But they didn't give up. I will give you this. I like the resiliency of the Patriots not giving up. I like the resiliency of the young quarterback not giving up. Obviously, you can see the pretty much all the stats favored the Cardinals. 395 total yards versus the 311 the Patriots had. The Patriots also gave up that interception, a turnover. And in the first down, they were kind of even. 21 for the Cardinals, 17 for the Patriots. But that time of possession really killed the defense for the Patriots. And I think that's one of the major reasons also why James Conner was able to really have a good game in this particular game. Again, Patriots are really not looking to win. I mean, they're not tanking, but they're also not looking to win, for being honest. So I'm not really entirely too surprised that they ended up doing what they did at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really not. I think it's still a very uh, um good experience for that young QB. And talking about the young QB, ladies and gentlemen, to me personally, Drake May keeps shining. Yes, yes, yes. I know he got the interception. He's still developing, and obviously he's still a rookie. But for me, ladies and gentlemen, did the Patriots find their future QB? I have to say yes. I am liking Drake May and what he's done so far as a Patriot. I think that if the Patriots does give him protection like he needs, I think this is probably going to be the best option for the Patriots. I don't really see, I mean, unless I understand wanting to get maybe a Shador Sanders or a Cam Ward, who are both listed to be top 5 picks. But in my opinion, I like Drake May. I like him much better than I did Mac Jones when Mac Jones had his Pro Bowl year as a rookie. Um, I just prefer the way that Drake May is actually processing the field, in my opinion, a little bit better than Mac Jones. Delusional Patriots fan says, "Shine bright like a diamond." Yeah, yep, he does, and I feel like he is shining. Again, he is a rookie, but I'm seeing his production to be consistently good. Not great at times. I've seen him to look pretty great, and I've seen some bullet passes from him that I'm like, ooh, this is good. Now, I've told you this early in the beginning of the year. I think it was maybe week 2 or week 4, where I was like, ew, this quarterback is actually kind of good. I wasn't expecting him to be as good as he ended up being so far, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, in my opinion, I think Drake May right now it's probably the best option that the Patriots have by far, by far. And right now, if you take a look at the Tankathon, you see that the Patriots are listed as the top 3 pick right now. They're third behind Las Vegas and the Giants. I think they might actually stay at top 3, in my opinion. They've got 3 tough games coming up. We're gonna discuss that later when we take a look at the week 16 projections. But this is gonna be a fun last stretch for Drake May. I think this is great in-game experience for him, and I truly expect for him to continue to work through the kinks. This is a quarterback. If I'm the Patriots, I would want to um put money behind him. Spend his next 4 years being able to put a team around him. If they do this correctly, then I think that they have a bright future with this young QB. If they protect him, I mean, if I'm them, I'm trying to take the number one offensive tackle, the number one guard, or even center. For me, I am beefing up the O line. If I can take that third overall pick, maybe even move back and pick two more or get two more first round picks, I'm willing to do it because I want to build, if I'm the Patriots, around Drake May. And he's the guy to me that's going to be a problem in this division. I know some people, I've already heard some of the comparisons to, is he, are the Patriots back? Do we got a baby Allen? Relax, people. Okay? Relax. It's still a bad team that the Patriots have, but they are rebuilding. So this is to be expected. At the end of the day, I do believe, though, that the Patriots do have a really good quarterback in Drake May, and I think that they should put their money to protect this young man. Give him an O line. Build that wall in front of him through free agency, but definitely through the draft. Let that O line grow with him. Build him that wall. And to me, you're going to help his development fast forward. And you're going to be able to go ahead and really get the most out of him. To me, that's pretty much it. I wouldn't want to waste any more time and anybody else. If I'm them, I'm putting my money to building around Drake May. I like him, actually. I really do like Drake May. Guys, thank you again so much for coming to week 15 recap. Please do me a favor, hit that like button. Hit the like button on your way in. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Mm. Hmm. Let's take a look at it. Hey, Nene in the building. How you doing, Nene? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Nightshade. Welcome. What's up, my fine people? Oh. Delusional Patriots fan says he's way better than I thought he'd be. I know. I don't think that many people thought that Drake May was gonna be what he has ended up to being. One thing I will give um, the Patriots, man, they're good at drafting, that's for sure, and I can't stand it every time. Always happens. They always get guys. It's really frustrating, but hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Like and subscribe, guys. We're so close to getting to our goal. We're even closer to getting to our goal, guys. We just need 12 more people to get to 1,500. So 412 people to get to 2,000. Let's make it happen, guys, before the season's over. I know that we can do it together, and I'm absolutely looking forward to it, guys. So let's go ahead and do it, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's go ahead and talk about the one team I really don't want to talk about. God, my heart hurts when I say this, ladies and gentlemen, but it is true. Tis true, ladies and gentlemen. We have to talk about the Miami Dolphins. The Phins lose to the Texans. Oh God, and I was there. This was a tough loss for the Miami Dolphins, in my opinion. Um, as far as when it comes to the Dolphins versus the Texans, this was an absolutely winnable game, in my opinion. Unfortunately, our offense didn't get off the bus, and that is where we ended up having the problem. A 30-12 loss, guys, has put the Miami Dolphins at the 11th position in the draft. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at all this real quick and kind of break down this game for you. Collins has 2 touchdown catches. Texans forced 4 turnovers and 20-12 win over the Dolphins. Tasked with shadowing Miami star Tyreek Hill for most of the game, Houston's cornerback Derek Stingley shined. Very embarrassing, according to the AP. Ladies and gentlemen, this game was just frustrating because this was an absolute winnable game by the Miami Dolphins. In my opinion, we had the better weapons, we had the better team overall. I know, let me just get it out the way. Everybody's going to hear, I can't believe this defense was horrible. And they allowed 20 points. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's under league average. League average right now is 22.2 points per game. That's league average. The Miami Dolphins defense, with their first year DC, Coach Weaver, allowed only 20 points versus the Houston Texans, who at that point were 8-5, and the Dolphins were 6-7. We had an opportunity to go to 7-7, to be at 500 for the season, continue our playoff opportunity and playoff push. Unfortunately, this offense just completely stalled, and it started off with the leader of the offense that nobody ever wants to blame, the quarterback. The first quarter, no points for the Dolphins. Texans scored 3 points. That first drive for each team ended up being punts, ladies and gentlemen. In the second quarter, you had obviously Nico Collins, that 6-yard pass by CJ Sanders with the field goal, um, making it 3-10. And then Sanders with another field goal, making it 6-10. But unfortunately, what a lot of people, attribute to this, there was an interception right there caused by the quarterback that allowed for the Texans to gain that extra field goal. Second half, it was pretty much the same thing. Both teams were able to score a touchdown, and I'm not going to lie to you. I yelled at my screen, and I was so happy. I was like, yes, yes. Let's go! Let's go! That's what I'm talking about! Let's go! Let's go! John Smith with the touchdown! Did you see that pass by Tua? Let's go! Finally! Thank you! Let's go! I was excited. I was like, we're back. Okay, relax. It's the third quarter. We got a whole quarter going. Let's go, Dolphins. Let's make this happen. Guys, it was still a one possession game. Granted, Sanders missed the PAT, making it instead of 7 points, 8 points. But we were right there within striking distance. Like we were still in this game, guys. We were absolutely still in this game. That's the part that I'm like, oh God, come on, man. And it was just that fourth quarter sequence, just taking a look at that play by play, which I'll put it up in a second. But it was just too fresh. I don't even want to get to the score. Let's just go over that fourth quarter sequence, guys. In the second half, we each scored that touchdown that we were referring to. The defense was able to get that punt. But what does Miami do? That extremely costly interception in the middle. I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. We punt them. We punt them. Our defense gets them to punt. What happens? Interception. We get them to punt again. What happens next after that? -9 yards. And we punt. After that miracle, we punt them again. And make them go -5 yards. Ladies and gentlemen. And the ball, we get the ball left. We get the ball left. You can't even make this up. You can't even make this up. With a minute 44 seconds, the Miami Dolphins still had, I believe, two touchdowns, if not all three, but for sure at least two touchdowns. I mean, two timeouts. Tua Tagovailoa, deep right pass. Underthrown, severely underthrown, am I at? Intended for Tyreek Hill, intercepted by Stingley at the Houston 49. Stingley to Houston 49 for no gain. And last night, we were discussing this. Oh, Tyreek, Tyreek needs to hold on to the ball. The ball was in his hand, and he needs to hold on to the ball. Well, I'm gonna illustrate this with my little football piggyback. Yes, it's a little football piggyback. See, it's a little football. See it right there. Hey, Tyreek caught that ball. He did. He caught that ball. He had both hands in it. This is how he caught the ball. Unfortunately, that ball was so underthrown. First of all, he's 5'9". That's 5'2" at this point. Tyreek is 5'2", I'm convinced. The cleats make him a little bit taller. He got the ball like this, but unfortunately, Stingley ended up getting the in literally the inside leverage of that ball. He put his hand in between Tyreek's chest and his arms, in his chest between the arms, and pulled that ball down with his weight. I don't care what anybody says, you're not all that weight coming down on a ball. I don't care how strong you are midair. That's just not something you're going to be successful at. And unfortunately, after finally the defense makes another stop, ladies and gentlemen, Tua Tagovailoa with his third costly turnover. And that interception, and people want to talk about how it was on top. No, this is 100% on Tua Tagovailoa, period. Ball placement was horrible, absolutely horrible, and it was severely underthrown. If he would have actually high pointed that ball, then guess what? Tyreek would have been able to fall on it. He threw the ball here. The defender was right in front of. They were both falling backwards, but the defender was right in front of Tyreek. I get he's a $30 million receiver. I get he's supposed to be catching all those 50-50 balls. Nobody's going to catch that ball like that. Not with the way the leverage that Stingley had in putting his hand in the middle of his chest and in between those two hands and pulling it down. That's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. And no matter how much people want to talk about how horrible this offensive line play was, if I pull up the numbers, you're going to be able to see that even with the horrible offensive line um, production, it doesn't excuse Tua Tagovailoa blindly throwing the other two interceptions he threw, one on the left of the field and one right in the middle, where you can tell he wasn't even looking, because especially the one in the middle, the defender didn't even move. The defender was that that DB didn't even move in the middle of the field. Tua threw it straight to him. Tyreek was coming on a deep on a post route, I believe, into the middle, and it's like Tua didn't even see the defender at all and threw the ball anyways. And he didn't even throw the ball where you can have that touch that everybody says Tua has, that pinpoint accuracy. It wasn't there because he threw the ball right to the defender, like literally right to the defender. He needed to put a little, which Tua does every time, put a little bit more arch into that to get to Tyreek. But no, one of the hardest throws in the league, in my opinion, to throw over the corner, under the safety. He just threw it straight to the DB. He didn't even overthrow that at all. Didn't like it was not. You can't even say it was underthrown. It was thrown to the defense. Period. And that's the part where you can't. Those mental decisions, you have to step up. The Texans defense didn't even. It wasn't even like they were so dominant. No, it was just mental mistakes by Tua, and he touches the ball 100% of the time. And unfortunately, it cost us this game, because had we had, oh my God, one less interception, I still think the Dolphins had a chance to win this game. One less interception, And I still think the Dolphins had a chance to win this game. I really do. I really do. And that's the part that makes it even more frustrating because you expect better from your franchise quarterback. You do. And for saying that, the Tua has been dealing with a battle line, which is I've heard this all 5 years of him being here. Ladies and gentlemen, Tua, one thing that I've said, Tua has gotten better at navigating that O line because that's what you have to do when you have a battle line. And Tua has been able to do it. But right now, you can see it's just that was a mental mistake by him over and over and over and over and over again. And this was such a winnable game. We were, at the end of the day, the Texans ended up being the better team, obviously, because they were able to get the points they needed to win. We beat ourselves, and that's what makes this even more unfortunate. And in the tankathon, ladies and gentlemen, the Miami Dolphins are 11th, just outside of the top 10. They're tied with four other teams that are also 6-8 right now throughout the league. Now, we'll talk about week 16 and when it comes up for our week 16 projections, but you can expect that if the Dolphins in the last three games, if they do end up somehow winning out, which at this point, who knows? They'll need to if they want a winning record. They're going to end up picking where we always pick 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Like, this is right here, your home of the Miami Dolphins. I'm not even kidding. It's right here, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, we're still close to the top 10. It just depends on what ends up happening um, with us. Do we actually get it or not? And it's not going to be easy, guys. It's not going to be easy at all, especially since we expect um, the Dolphins to do better. But I gotta ask everybody, what's is Tua's future in question in Miami? What do you guys think? Is Tua's future in question in Miami? Is this the last year Tua's going to be a starter in Miami, ladies and gentlemen? Is that something that's possible by any chance? Do you think so? I don't think so. Personally, I think Tua's gonna be here. I've told you this in the offseason. We're running this back no matter what happens this season. We just paid Tua. And we paid the supporting cast too. Got Water the contract, got Tyreek the extension, even Teron got a little bit of extra money. So that way we can get a little bit and free up some cap. To me, the Dolphins are gonna go ahead and run this puppy back. Do I think that the GM and the head coach are gonna be fired? Not really, no. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. So it's gonna be interesting though because it's still up in the air. We ultimately um don't have a say in this, guys. We're all fans. But is it possible that this could be the last year as the Dolphins? Anything's possible. It just depends on what they want to do. If they definitely want to go ahead and um if they definitely want to make major changes, it's going to have to be from the top down. And it would have to require the entire organization to be completely gutted. GM, I mean, obviously the owner's not going to fire himself, but let's say if he does give the team over to his daughter, which is what his succession plan is right now, or at least that's what the reports are saying. If he does that and she cleans house, That would be GM, that would be coach, that would be the entire front office, possibly even the scouting team. I mean, that would be a lot, but it would be a building from the ground up. A absolutely difficult task. I'm not gonna pretend like it wouldn't be. It'd be a really tough task. I don't see that happening, but it is an option and it's there. I know a lot of us, may want that to happen. Some of us don't. Me personally, I don't think that we need to go that crazy. But something has to change. In the last few years, unfortunately, we still haven't had success like we should based on the type of team and the type of talent that we brought into this table. And that's the problem. And my head coach, my quarterback, and my GM all have told us, you guys are more worried about this offensive line than we are. So why would you expect for the Miami Dolphins to put any money into the O line, ladies and gentlemen, when we paid pretty much all the weapons to help and give the most to Tua? I know some people want to blame the O line and how the O line is not good. They're not going to be a top 10 O line, that's for sure. But it's still not a horrible O line either. It's not ranked 32nd either. It's not the worst O line either. And the thing is, Tua gets plenty of opportunity to throw the ball. But does he? There are times where he holds on to the ball a little too much. So that's one thing that I feel like, although a lot of us really want us to focus on the trenches, which I'm one of them, I think that you're supposed to build a team from the trenches, O line, D line. I've been trying to get Tua a a real generational tackle on either side. I've been trying to get him an O line to protect him this entire time he's been here. But unfortunately, we're too worried about the O line than what they're worried about. And that comes directly from Greer. That comes from McDaniel. And even Tua Tagovailoa himself said it. They have accepted this O line. Period. So why? I mean, I'm not in the front office. Why would I question what they do? Now, again, is Tua's future in question? With the way that this organization has shown us, even if we don't even have a winning record, all the built-in excuses are already there. Tua got injured, he had the concussion, he was missing out weeks. If Tua was there for those games, we would have won. You see what I mean? So that's where we have to take into consideration what we expect from this organization. And to me, everything screams they're running this back. So I don't think that Tua's future in the Miami Dolphins is really in jeopardy. Not even Mike McDaniel. Not even Mike McDaniel. But it's still a good question to ask because at the end of the day, we really don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know, but it is going to be very interesting to see how the Miami Dolphins deal with Tua and how they deal with his future and what they intend to do because right now We have so much money in this offense that we really don't have money even for our draft picks that are coming up in this new draft year. So we got to see. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be up in the air, guys. But at the end of the day, my answer to this is going to be nope, we're running this back. So I think Tua's safe. I think Greer's safe. And I do think that McDaniel's safe. Might there be an OC that maybe gets the ass because somebody's head's gonna have to roll for the fans to be okay with this? So I think maybe we'll probably see a offensive coordinator, maybe positional coach that gets fired or something like that. But that's it. I don't foresee this um, being a major change, even if we do want it. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the Miami Dolphins and when it comes the to its future at this point. So, guys, thank you so much for coming through. We do have one more team that we are gonna obviously highlight, the last team in the division, right now. So I appreciate that, guys. But do me a favor, hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button. And thank you so much for coming through the AFC East Week 15 recap that we have so far, guys. Hit that like button, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what else. You guys have been busy. What's up, Adam S? Welcome, buddy. Welcome. We got Ronnie in the building, Shake Money in the building. Welcome. AB, I see you. Nay, I see you. Welcome. Airborne, welcome. Lance, how you doing? Welcome. True Blazer. Appreciate you guys. Zeno in the building. Hi, I see you. Frozen Fins fans, welcome. I love this. See, online play cost us this game. Come on, man. Really? It's gonna be you're blaming the online play on the Dolphins losing that game. Only one pick was definitely on Tua. Come on, dude. Come on. You can't do that. We gotta be able to what do you call it? Uh oh, yeah. Come on, man. Nah, I do see here. I saw that you're a new to YouTuber, so that's great, man. Go check out Frozen Fins Van. Over there, doing his thing. Looks like you have been here doing it for 4 months. Congrats, man. Not easy, but you keep doing it. I'll tell you this. Um, it's not gonna be easy, but you just gotta continue to do it if you truly love this. So go ahead and do that. I appreciate you checking out the show last night. And guys, if you did not catch it, please go ahead and check out the Dolphins roundtable last night with myself, TD, CB83, and Big C. It was awesome. I appreciate all you guys for coming through. Look, I get it. Everybody's not gonna like everything, but one thing I will say is multiple things can be true, but at one point after 5 years, there is one common denominator, guys. Technically two common denominators, and that is Chris Greer and Tua Tagovailoa. Those are the two that we have to deal with so far in this franchise. Are we gonna get better play out of both of them? With Greer getting the right players that we need that are not injured players, okay? Because he loves to do that. And is Tua gonna step up in games when we need him to step up? The games that matter, the playoff type atmosphere games, the win and get in games, the games versus teams over 500. That's what we expect from Tua. And unfortunately, we just haven't had that. It's not because I dislike Tua. I've given Tua plenty of praise. I mean, I literally said this last game when we played the Jets and we beat the Jets. I was like, holy smokes. Fourth quarter comeback, check. Overtime comeback, check. My favorite part of that whole game, the overtime. Overtime was my favorite part of the entire game. We were decisive. We were moving the ball downfield. Tua was cooking. But again, can we get that versus a team over 500? Can we get that versus a team that's a playoff contender? The answer is no. And anybody that says yes, then they're not taking a look at Tua's play overall. And you can talk about online, you can talk about the defense, but who touches the ball in the offense 100% of the time? That's the center, and that's the quarterback. And the decisions you have to you. I'm not saying the O line is perfect. It's not. You got a rookie left tackle right now in Patrick Paul because the one guy we did end up paying, Teron Armstead, injured again. We can't afford that. We can't afford that. And this man again injured. Again. That's a Chris Greer guy. Chris Greer thinks, oh, I'm going to give all these guys second chances. You're coming off an injury? Come over here to the Dolphins. Come over here. We got money for you. You're at the tail end of your career. We've got money for you. And again, you have to analyze. If you know your GM, I feel comfortable in saying I know my GM. His perfect player, an injured player, specifically an older injured player who's at the tail end of their career. Come on in. The price is right. And then we wonder why some of these players are not available for us. Come on, guys. Now, is Tua responsible for all of that? No. Tua can only play with the players that are literally on the field with him. But he can make better decisions. And all three interceptions were 100% on Tua. All three of them. All three of them. Even the Tyreek one. That is not bad to say either. I'm not gonna pretend like he's absolved because he's had a bad O line. Guess what? There's only 5 O lines that are top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the only ones that are top 5. Everybody else is an okay O line, and you're expecting at least above 500. If you can get your O line to above 500, that's great. But for the most part, especially at the end of the season, this is what you're going to get, ladies and gentlemen. So I know people are going to be very upset and they're going to be not wanting to talk about it and how, this isn't all on Tua. I get it. He's our franchise quarterback. I get it. A lot of people are still believing in him. I believe in him to get the job done. Unfortunately, he lets me down more often than not. He let me down when he got injured and was out for 4 weeks. You can now essentially bank that Tua will be out at least 4 weeks a year. Are we okay with having a part-time quarterback? Are we okay with having a part-time left tackle that we pay so much money to? You see what I mean? Like these things, unfortunately, is what the Miami Dolphins have had to deal with for some time. And it is frustrating as a fan base that we have to deal with that. It is. It's absolutely frustrating. And I understand, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want I don't want to keep losing. I want to win. I don't care if Tua guesses there, man. If Tua comes out in the next 3 games, he Super Bowls out. We go into the playoffs. We beat the Bills. We beat the Chiefs. We beat the Ravens. We beat the Steelers. Whoever we got to beat. And we make it to the Super Bowl and beat the Lions and win the Super Bowl. Guys, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. I'm going to make him a miniature little statue. Or I'm just going to take like one of them Funko Pops and put him, put him like somewhere prominent. Like that's the thing. That's I want to win. When two succeed, when this team succeeds, that means we're winning. As a fan, I want to win. I do not care how we get there. I want us to win. This is year 5 for Tua. Do we need another 5 more years? We're gonna get them. Do we need another 5 more years to show us what the last 5 years have shown us? One thing I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, and my dad always says this: the first year any quarterback has to really like m- take teams by surprise is that very first year when there really isn't any film out there for you. If you don't believe me, why do you think we have the saying called the sophomore slump? A lot of people want to say HN is dealing with the sophomore slump. A lot of people want to talk about how CJ Stroud has been taking a little sophomore slump himself, being a little bit more inconsistent, a little bit more figured out by defenses, and some of his habits tend to be kind of the same. It's gonna happen. We pretend like opposing teams don't get paid. The opposing defense also gets paid, guys. They gotta figure out a way to beat you. So that first year, why do you think we were so successful when we brought out the wild card? We went 11-5 that year. The 2008. We played and we won the division, guys, and even played in the playoffs. Why? We caught everybody by surprise. The next year, teams already caught on to it, and we weren't able to utilize it well. That's the problem. You see, teams will figure things out. The same thing with Mike Daniels' offense. By year 1, teams had already figured it out. That's why we had such horrendous games versus the 49ers, versus the Chargers that completely dismantled the offense. That was possibly, in my opinion, the worst game ever in McDaniel's career. Like, that was such a horrible game, and that was still within this first season. 49ers did the same thing and destroyed us that year. Last year 2 of the same regime, guess what? We were beating up on teams, but guess what? The games we weren't able to beat. The teams we weren't able to beat. We beat ourselves, in my opinion, versus Kansas City. We absolutely could have won that game versus Kansas City, in my opinion. We beat ourselves, in my opinion, versus the Eagle, but the Eagle defense was actually a little bit better. They figured some of the stuff out. When we played the Ravens, they completely knew our playbook. And obviously, the Bills literally took our cookies from our kitchen, man. They were 6-6 last year. They were bums, absolute bums. The Bills were last year 6-6, and you're like, this is our division. This is our year. This is the year. Two things happening. Kansas City's looking super weak. They're not the super dominant team everybody has been seeing. And number two, the Bills are bums. This is the year we got to take it. Let's go out there and take it, Tua. Let's go out there and take it. Let's go out there and take it. And what happened? We were up 3 games with 5 games left in the season. This offense scored 7 points. The offense. I'm not talking special teams and Sanders kicking field goals. I'm not talking about the defense scoring for us. I am talking about the offense. All 11 players that played the offense, including our quarterback, scored 7 points in each game, including the playoffs. And we had more injured players than we were guys. We were out here like, hey, have you ever played football, even Pee Wee football? We need you in defense. Come on. Yeah, I don't care where you from. Let's go. Have you played within the last 20 years? Okay, good. We're gonna take you. Let's go. We need some pass rushers. Let's go. Let's make this happen. Like we were getting guys for this defense last year. Literally, forget the couch. These guys were like in a whole different industry, and I'm like, do they even play football? When was the last time they played football? Forget guys off the bench. Forget guys off the couch, man. We were getting guys from nursing homes. Like, hey, you played at some point within the last 10 years. Yep, we'll take you. Come on, let's go. We were getting guys for this Jalen Waddle said it himself. If you don't believe me, go watch the Hard Knocks game. I can't believe this offense. And the defense is the one with all these injuries. When Jalen Waddle said that on Hard Knocks and they actually posted it, I was like, did they really just let that one in? I'm like, holy smokes. Even the players knew. What's up with this offense? The defense is the one with all the injuries. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But unfortunately, that's what we were stuck with. We were stuck with having that kind of production again at the end of the season. That's why that defensive, like at this point, I can't even talk smack to the other teams because that December collapse almost always happens. And it's so frustrating. At this point, I can't even say they're lying because it happens consistently every year. And it's frustrating. How am I supposed to be okay with that? How am I supposed to be okay the fact that we spend $500 million in this offense and we're 6-8? 6-8. Pay the man, said everybody. Pay the man. He deserves this money. Pay the man. Pay the team. They all deserve this money. It's a disappointment, man. It is. It's absolutely a disappointment. So when people get upset, I could understand when the fan base gets upset. Like, hey, I expected more out of this coach. I expected more out of this quarterback. I expected more out of the GM. I expected more from the team. Period. What am I supposed to say to those people? I'm right there with you. And I also understand the other folks that say, listen, but I still believe we still have a chance. Technically, we still have a chance to make the playoffs, people, as crazy as that may sound. I know I'm right there with you. At this point, it's over, but it's not, apparently. We still have a chance. By this week, we'll know. That chance will be completely gone. This week will be the completely gone chance. It's insane to me. Absolutely crazy. But that's where we're at right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we have. And I understand people still wanting to, that's my guy. I'm still going to ride for him. That's good. That's what you should be doing. Until he's no longer part of this organization, Tua Tagovailoa is my starting quarterback. That is a fact. Tua Tagovailoa is a starting quarterback. I don't see how that's controversial. He is. He's a starting quarterback. He's a starting quarterback. Period. And for me, I expect him to act. I expect him to do his job. He wanted the money, we gave him the money. He wanted to get drafted, we gave the draft. He wanted to get developed, we spent 5 years on him and try to put a team around him. It's time. We protected him from other people, from other coaches, because you can't talk to people like that. Okay, cool. But now I need you to actually perform. I need you guys to hit that like button like I'm performing. So please hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button, like and subscribe. I need you guys. I can't do this myself. Okay, and I appreciate all you guys coming through to the AFC show, guys, that we have so far. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, guys. Thank you. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about the Bills beating the Lions. Was this the Super Bowl matchup preview? I don't know. Was it, ladies and gentlemen? Was this the Super Bowl matchup preview? A lot of people said yes. The Pittsburgh Steelers and Eagles game was also the other potential Super Bowl matchup that I know everybody else was talking about. And let me tell you, the game, it was entertaining, guys. The game, that was a very entertaining game. Very entertaining game. Um, to me, in my opinion, a lot was said on this game. More for the Lions than the Bills, to be honest with you. I think a lot more was said more for the Lions than the Bills in this particular game. But the Bills did what they were supposed to do. At 11-2, the Bills went. I mean, sorry, 10-2, the Bills went to Detroit in the dome, and they beat the 12-1 Detroit Lions. Do I still think the Lions are going to be the ones coming out in the one seed for the NFC? Yes, I do. I do. I still think that they're going to be the one representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. But the Buffalo Bills, they definitely showed you they found a way to beat them. And like I said last week, I had this game penciled in as the absolute loss for the Bills. But I said this last week, all season, by the way. But I said last week, the one thing I was so disappointed about and mad is that the Bills got a chance to have the dress rehearsal versus the Rams. And to me, that is the only reason why the Bills won this game. They had a dress rehearsal already. The Bills team had to go up against the Rams last week. And it ended up being 44-42 Rams win. But they were that defense, that Bills defense was able to go up against a team with all their players healthy and back, be the high powered offense we've known for them to be. The same one that won the Super Bowl. So for me, that game right there gave them the dress rehearsal they needed to be able to come up to another high powered offense and play um and play versus the what do you call it? Play versus the Lions. That's where we're at right now when it comes to the Buffalo Bills, ladies and gentlemen. And this could absolutely be a Super Bowl matchup because none of these teams have won a Super Bowl. The Lions haven't won. The Bills haven't won. Bills have been there. Lions have never been there. But the Bills have been there. So taking a look at this, Josh Allen had another huge game to lift Bills to a 48-42 victory that snaps Lions winning streak at 11. It was the all-time best 11 game win streak they ever had as a franchise. So congratulations to the Lions on having that. They've made a lot of strides. Josh Allen took a shotgun snap, moved up in the pocket and backed up, rolled to the left and threw right, according to the AP. That is just a simple example of Josh Allen's ability to scramble and to keep plays going. As you can see, the only time there was no scoring done was the first quarter, and this is where the Lions lost the game. That Bills defense was able to clamp down on the Lions and not get them to get any score off, not even a field goal. And to me, that set the tone for the game, in my opinion. Very, very interesting, but that definitely set the tone. Obviously, Josh Allen with the two rushing touchdowns that he got in that first half, that first quarter. Then you had James Cook getting another running touchdown, um, which they obviously needed. I'm very, very, very interested into now. Granted, we know the Lions were missing Hutchinson, their number one defensive player, number 97. Shout out to him. Awesome guy. And they were missing a couple other guys on defense. But that's no excuse. Their offense was there and it was alive and kicking. The Lions still put up points, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the half, it was still only a one score game. 21-24 Bills at that point. Now I will tell you this. What won this game for the Bills absolutely was the running game, and you can definitely tell, specifically in the red zone run game. That, in my opinion, is what allowed for them to get so many rushing touchdowns. You can't really, you can't really do that. Obviously, Shakir gets that 3 yard pass from Allen to score again. Amon Ra with that 66 yard pass. Man, that was a beauty. To end the third quarter, it was an absolute beauty. I don't care what anybody says. That was a really good throw right there. And you see it, field goal by the Bills, touchdown by the Lions, another touchdown. But there was zero defense in that second half. That's when you knew it was like, okay, defense took the day off now, or took the half off. And at no point, though, ladies and gentlemen, did the Lions lead in this game. One thing I will tell you that might be a concern for the Bills is that the Bills defense kind of thought they were playing the Jacksonville no, not the Jaguars, because they don't ever play well versus the Giants. But the defense, you could have thought that they were playing, I don't know, what's a bad team? Carolina Panthers. With the way that they took off the foot off the pedal. You can tell the defense definitely that second half, the defense definitely scaled back in that game, allowing for the Lions to essentially come back. And Jared Goff, still an MVP candidate, he was still able to take advantage of the opportunities that defense was giving him. And that's when you're getting so many back and forth. Jared Goff putting his team in positions to win, and you can see Gibbs with that passing touchdown from Goff. He also had that 1 yard rushing touchdown as well. Even Jameson with another touchdown with 12 seconds left. And you know what? In my opinion, this game, and I said it before the game ended, Dan Campbell is going to cost him this game because he made another fatal flaw like he did last year in the NFC playoff game. An NFC playoff game, not the last fourth and whatever, which I think it was 4-3 that they went for it. It was the second to last fourth down play that they went to. that, in my opinion, cost the Lions the NFC Championship game. And the same thing in this particular game. Dan Campbell earlier in the game was a little bit too aggressive. I'm all for being aggressive, dude. Everybody knows the Lions love to be aggressive. But Dan Campbell made yet again, and I think that's because he's a young head coach. He's gonna get his lumps. He's gonna take his lumps. He needs to learn from these lumps, though. And the fact that he could be a little too overly aggressive. And to me, he cost his team an opportunity to win this game earlier. I believe it was, let me see, I think it was the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. You don't want that. You don't want to cost your team making those fatal coaching mistakes, and that was on him. He went for what he shouldn't have and allowed for the Bills to get the opportunity to get a short field. And you can't do that when you have a team like the Bills that are humming, as you will, later on in the season. You can't give them all these extra opportunities. You had Jared Goff, 38 of 59, 494 yards, 5 touchdowns. My Lord, almost 500 yards. That's crazy. Josh Allen, 23 of 34, 362 yards, 2 touchdowns. You had James Cook, 14 carries, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns for the Bills. Jahmyr Gibbs, 8 carries, 31 yards, 1 touchdown. Johnson for the Bills, 5 receptions, 114 yards, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, 14 receptions, 193 yards passing. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what this tells me here? The Bills defense said one thing and one thing only. We're not going to let your running game beat us. So, Jared Goff, you're going to have to beat us with your arm. You're going to have to beat us with your arm, and you can tell that's exactly what happened. The Lions were only favored by 2.5 points. Essentially, this was a pick-em game. This was a 50-50 game. Jeez. Over 1,000 yards in offense. That's insane. Both teams, ladies and gentlemen, with over 500 yards in offense. 559 for the Bills, 521 for the Lions. The Bills won the turnover battle with getting that one turnover from them. And the first down was pretty much even. 28 for the Bills, 30 for the Lions. Same thing with the time of possession. It was somewhat even, but the Bills did get 33 minutes versus the 27 minutes the Lions had. This was a forced field, ladies and gentlemen, in Detroit. This was a crazy game. And I'll tell you this. I'm not too surprised that this game ended up being the way that it did. So, we all expected it to be a shootout, in my opinion. And that's exactly what we got, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what we got. But you can see here the lack of production for the Lions, and you can credit the Bills defense for that. In that first quarter, man, that was tough. That was tough. So I totally understand why. Again, I had the Bills losing this game the entire season up to when I saw the Rams game, and then I knew nope. So I picked the Bills to win this game, and I was right. I didn't think it was gonna be in the 40s, so I think I put both teams in the 30, maybe like a 38, 35. I gotta see what I ended up putting as my score, but I did have it where the Bills were gonna win this game only because they already had the dress rehearsal versus the Rams. And that's when I knew, yep, they're gonna end up winning that. So I'm not entirely too surprised that that ended up being the outcome of that game. Now, Ladies and gentlemen, did the Bills secure, or do you think this might be an opportunity now, being how the AFC is shaping up? Are the Bills' number one seed still available, ladies and gentlemen? Do the Bills have an opportunity for this first seed? Ladies and gentlemen, right now, the Buffalo Bills, they're 29th in the tankathon. Obviously, they're not tanking. They're 11-3, so you can expect them to go ahead and continue to make a push to try to get to the Super Bowl, obviously, ladies and gentlemen. But this is still an opportunity. Could they get that number one seed? And the way the AFC is shaping up, I think yes. I absolutely do believe that the Bills have an opportunity to get that number one seed. I think they do. And the reason being, and we just got notification that it looks like Patrick Mahomes suffered a high ankle sprain. Are the Chiefs going to give up that first round overall? Is that something that perhaps, they're okay with? I mean, they did win the Super Bowl by not having the number one overall seed. The Ravens had that last year. So they've already proven they can win on the road in the playoffs and win the Super Bowl as well. On top of that, do the Chiefs make a business decision and maybe perhaps don't go too crazy in the last three games of the season, ladies and gentlemen? Because in my opinion, the Bills getting the number one seed, it absolutely is available. That door is open, especially with Mahomes being injured. Now, there's another team that can get the number one seed as well, and a lot of people are not talking about that team. Now, this is going to be a long shot. Not really too long of a shot, but that is the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. The Bills just have to lose one out of the last three games. Nobody's picking them to lose in the last three games. I'm certainly not picking them to lose the last three games. But if by some miracle they do lose one out of the last three games, that does open up the opportunity for the Steelers to get the number one overall um, seed. I don't think it's going to happen. I actually think the Bills are probably the best team positioned to get the number one seed. So all they have to do is win the last three games. All the last three games are divisional games. So these are going to be, they're not going to be gimme games, but they absolutely are favored in every single one of these games. Now, the only one that might be a little bit of a challenge is if and only if a certain quarterback is trying to prove to his future GM and his future head coach that he still got it and that he still wants to be playing for him, whomever they end up being, and that would be Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers decides to bring Aaron Rodgers of old and somehow manage to beat the Bills in 2 weeks, that's probably the only chance I see of the Bills losing a game. I highly doubt it. I give the Jets 3% to win that game, but that's it. Like it's the Bills are gonna win out. But then again, it is called any given Sunday for a reason. In my opinion, I do believe the Bills will secure the first overall seed, getting that first round bye. All they have to do is just win out, and they are highly favored for that. I mean, ridiculously highly favored for that, ladies and gentlemen. I personally don't see any other way in which the Bills do not get that first overall pick. Guys, again, thank you so much for joining the ACE show this morning. We got a couple other more stuff here for you guys real quick, but I did see we got a super chat. Thank you so much, Timothy. Appreciate you showing your love, man. With a $5 donation. Listen, every dollar literally comes to help out the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much to for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, Miss Phins. In your opinion so far, What is our best draft pick this year? From the ones that we've gotten so far, um, that we've actually utilized, I have to say Jalen Wright. I love Jalen Wright. I knew from the beginning, to me, he was a part of our future. I love Jalen Wright. To me, and the fact that to me we can utilize him both in the passing and running game, I think Jalen Wright is our best pick. And he was picked in the fourth round, if I'm not mistaken. Very happy with him. Now, I will say Chop Robinson probably has to be number two. You could tell the man is it's getting, himself into the league, getting himself ready for the league. He's really pushing forward as far as the way that he presenting himself. I think that, every week he is getting better and better and better. But I need him also to perform versus teams who have better O line. Those tend to be the playoff teams. So just like I would say the same thing about Tua, I need Chop Robinson to perform versus the good teams too. I need him to continually go after the quarterback and get more chops. By far the best celebration in the league. Period. The hands down. Period. But I do think that Chop Robinson is he's getting better. He's still got to develop. He's still finding his body within the league. But I would say Chop number two, Jalen Wright number one, Chop number two. That would be my top two for sure that I would expect. Malik Washington for sure has to be number three. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Malik is close. The only thing that I find very frustrating is that Jalen Wright and Malik Washington have not gotten the opportunities I thought that they would get to help them develop, in my opinion. So that's just where I'm at. Um Again, I would pick Jalen Wright number one, number two Chop, number three Malik Washington. That's where I'm at right now. So yeah, it's gonna be tough, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be tough. So hit that like button, like and subscribe for us. Go ahead and do so that we can go ahead and do it. Let me go ahead and continue here because we have another topic, and I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but this is the AFC show. Whether you like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, did Josh Allen cement the MVP with the Lions? Win? Did he? Is he the front runner of the MVP race? Obviously, you know that Lamar Jackson's up there, Jared Goff is up there. I think they're really the only two guys that might be competitive for it. But with the performance that Josh Allen has had in the last 2 weeks, specifically versus the Rams, and then for sure versus the Lions, with this win, in my opinion, I think you cannot deny that Josh Allen is the front runner for the MVP at this point, in my opinion. You can take a look at what he's faced in the last 2 weeks. Again, two very high power capable offenses he's had to match the same energy with. And he's been able to dissect two defenses. Guess what? The Lions defense is still, they're not bad. They're just injured, but they're not bad. That's a good Lions defense that they face. Even the Rams, not really. But the Lions defense is, guys, that was a pretty decent defense. Definitely top 15 defense. It's a above average defense. You could even say higher than that, actually. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're top 10 in the league. So with that defense, that top 10 defense that the Lions had, Josh Allen being able to face them and do what he was able to do against that defense, to me, it's undeniable that Josh Allen absolutely has cemented the front row um, for the MVP. I do. I do believe that he has found a way to become the front runner of the MVP, ladies and gentlemen. So far this season, he's got 3,395 yards, 25 touchdowns to one interception. That's a 5-to-1 ratio. You don't hear about those ratios like that. You might hear 2-to-1, you might hear 3-to-1, but 5-to-1 ratio touchdown to interception, those are very rare. Now, I do expect for him to have more passing touchdowns, but you also have to take into consideration this doesn't include the rushing touchdowns that he's had this season. So you include those in, then yeah, it's gonna be even bigger number than that. As far as his QBR, you can see is 79.3 so far in the season. Could that be better? Yes, but at the end of the day, you can tell Josh Allen has been making the right decisions on the field and has put his team on the back to be able to get these wins. Especially, we all saw a few weeks ago where he had and the Bills had no business in winning the game. He again having to be Superman broke like 5 tackles to get the touchdown to win just a couple weeks ago. So for me, with the kind of numbers that he has, I would expect a lot more passing yardage from him. I mean, more like in at least 4,200. Maybe in his next 3 games, he might get up there. I mean, if he's averaging 300 plus, it's like an extra 900, maybe 1,000 more that you can perhaps expect from him. If he can do that, that'll get him to like 41, 42, 4,300 yard passing that I think would really help his case. But for me, for these numbers, guys, these are really good numbers where he's at right now, comparable to what Lamar Jackson had last year as well. And the same argument was put for last year for Lamar Jackson. Yeah, maybe he at this time he had, I believe, 21 touchdowns and not 21, like 23 touchdowns and about 4 or 5 interceptions too. But when you add the rushing touchdowns, it makes a huge difference. So very similar type of play from what we saw from Lamar to Josh Allen this year. One thing that I will say Josh Allen has over even Lamar this year, because again, Lamar is one of the top 3 quarterbacks that are going to be getting an opportunity, perhaps being MVP, is the fact that Josh Allen has been able to keep himself healthy. Now, we all know he's always injured, but he finds a way not to allow those injuries to really affect his game. And right now, with them firing Ken Dorsey last year and adding Brady in as the OC, you can tell that it's really just highlighting what Josh Allen can do well. And that is for him being able to pass the ball and to escape and run the ball. So at this point, you can absolutely expect for Josh Allen to be the front runner. I'm not surprised whatsoever if he did get it to me by doing this to the clearly number one team in the league, which is the Detroit Lions, and the way that that team was able to play versus them in this potential Super Bowl preview. I do think Josh Allen, with these back-to-back performances, cemented the MVP with that Lions win, in my opinion. Now, again, the only other player that I think that might be able to, because with this loss, Jerichoff to me kind of took himself out of it. It's still Lamar Jackson, the only other guy that I think that might be able to take a run at it. But at this point, Lamar Jackson would have to do something so astronomically for the last 3 weeks for him to really take this from Josh Allen. And I personally don't see that happening. The Ravens right now are about to face some tough games coming up, and to be honest with you, they can literally go 2-1. I don't think they'll go. I don't think they'll go 1-2 or 0-3. I also don't think they're gonna go 3-0. The Ravens are facing the Steelers coming up, and I think that's the one game they are gonna lose. So I see the Ravens being 2-1 in this last 3 games. For the Bills, they've got nothing but divisional games versus the two worst teams in the division between the Jets and the Patriots. So at most, I would say the Jets game might be the one game if Aaron Rodgers decides to do something ridiculous and shock everybody and beat the Bills. I highly doubt it, ladies and gentlemen. But when it comes to Josh Allen cementing the MVP, yeah, I don't think that this is. I don't think it's all but a foregone conclusion that Josh Allen, with this performance versus the Lions, has cemented the um, the NFL MVP, ladies and gentlemen. So that's going to be very interesting because for now, I wasn't expecting them to do it, but they did it, man. They did it. They absolutely did it. And you can tell that Josh Allen did exactly what he needed to be able to go ahead and get this win. That's all you could expect out of him. And for me, I don't see anybody really overtaking Josh Allen. The only guy would be Lamar, and even then, Lamar at this point, it doesn't look like he's got enough to be able to make a difference here, in my opinion. To nothing severe that you can actually say, "Holy smokes, this guy's gonna take over." Not at all. So Josh Allen, to me, the clear-cut MVP winner with these last two performances he's had. So congratulations to him. Like I told after week 4, I said, congrats, Bills, on winning your your fifth straight AFC East championship. I already knew the writing on the wall. I knew exactly what it meant. As frustrating as it is, this is what we're dealing with. So we just have to continue to make sure we the rest of the division does what they need to do to challenge the division champs. That's all you can say at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Now moving forward, let's go ahead and check out the standings of the AFC East, guys. Right now, the NFL standings, as you can see, Buffalo obviously they have clinched the division, they have clinched the playoffs. The Jets and the Patriots are both eliminated, guys. But Miami, mathematically speaking, it is still alive. Don't ask me how. I know. But we're still alive. There is still a chance. So you may not like it, people, but there is still a chance for the Dolphins to make this happen. As you can see, these are going to probably end up being your divisional winners right here. They have all but solidified their divisions at this point, and I do believe Pittsburgh, the with this win, will solidify their divisional win as well. But the last three positions that we have are the fifth overall, sixth, and seventh. You got Baltimore, you have Denver, and you have the Chargers. The two, or technically three teams, are still in the hunt are the Colts, the Dolphins, and the Bengals. The Colts do hold the tiebreaker over us because obviously our head-to-head matchup, they ended up beating us earlier in the season, just like 4 years ago. We needed to go ahead and get one win and get in. Well, that one win came in by us losing to the Colts earlier that season, which is so frustrating because I knew it. I knew it. People were dismissing that loss to the Colts, and I'm like, this is going to bite us at the end of the season. And it ended up being. We just cannot beat the Colts for some reason, and I don't understand why. But right now, according to this, um, the Colts win the tiebreaker over Miami, obviously because of the head-to-head. They also win the tiebreaker over Cincinnati based on best win percentage in the conference, ladies and gentlemen. And then obviously wins tie break over Cincinnati for the Dolphins based on best win percentage in the conference. What does that mean? We got a better conference record than Cincinnati right now. Dolphins are 5-5, just like the Colts. Cincinnati is 3-6. So because of that, that's why we're ahead of Cincinnati. There are multiple opportunities for the Dolphins to still get in. It's going to require everybody else to do their job. But if we don't win at all this upcoming week, it doesn't even matter at the end of the day. We'd have to win, and we would have to. We need Denver to lose 3 games. That's not going to happen because they had the head to head matchup with the Chargers. But the Chargers, we need them to lose twice. Now, I can see them losing to Denver once and maybe one more if we're lucky. But the problem is that the Colts have the easiest schedule out of the three teams ahead of us, guys. The Colts have the easiest schedule, so it's going to be very tough for the Colts to actually win this game. At this point, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But I do think that by this week, week 16, it's going to be completely solidified as far as which teams are going to end up being in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. I think that this week will definitely solidify those. The last two positions, the sixth and seventh position in the playoffs for the AFC, I think will more than likely be cemented this week. So we just have to stay in touch with those right there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the week 16 games that we're expecting. We've got the Patriots at Bills. I'm going to leave that for last because it is a head to head matchup. We're going to start out with the Jets. The Rams are coming in house. Jets are favored by 3. So, well, Rams are favored by 3. It's an even game. It's a pick 'em. Apparently, 51% say the Rams are going to win. We'll see. Maybe the Jets are trying to play spoiler. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is trying to keep his job, so if he ends up doing it, maybe he might be able to get an opportunity with that new head coach. You've got Aaron going up against, obviously, they go up against the defense, but head to head matchup. Stafford versus Rodgers, that's going to be very interesting. Karen Williams, who has been their number one rusher for this season, I expect big things for him, and I really like Karen Williams. This should be a lot of fun to see him play this game, especially how he does versus this defense. You got Brees Hall obviously being, as always, very effective. And now that the Rams are pretty much healthy with Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup being back, what can we expect out of this Rams? Are they gonna destroy the Jets? Or is Aaron Rodgers gonna step up? To me personally, I think this is gonna be a very even game. Now, look at that. They're 4-1 in the last 5. Jets are 1-4. So this is gonna be a pick 'em. It will be in New York. 26 degrees is saying sunny, but 26. Whew, that's gonna be rough. Personally, I think this game is the Rams. Do the Rams need this game for the NFC playoffs? Yes, they do, but not really. And it's going to help them to solidify a position, but I think that if they were to lose this game because it's non-conference, I think they should be okay. Either way, I still got the Rams winning this game, guys. Listen, the Jets, although Aaron Rodgers is going to want to do something to try to keep his job, essentially, the Rams are now all healthy and they're ready to continue to play. They just beat the Bills, who beat the Lions. Like, they want to be able to go ahead and continue to pump out wins. So, yeah, this might be an opportunity for them to make another push for deep in the playoffs, maybe even perhaps more than that, but we'll see how that ends up going. Guys, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button for us. Thank you so much. Next game, we've got the 49ers at the Dolphins. 49ers and Dolphins are both 6-8. Both of these teams are absolutely letdowns this year. Both of these teams have let down the NFL and the playoffs. Um, Honestly, at this point, as much as I love my team, I have to be honest. I can't lie to you guys. I'm going to tell you exactly what I said for the last 2 weeks. If the Dolphins score 30 points, we win this game. 31-27 Dolphins. If we do not score 30 points, we're not winning this game. And I got it 22-17 49ers. The only shot the Dolphins have right now is to get the 30 points. They do that, we win. We don't get to 30 points offensively, we're not going to win. Now, 49ers are decimated with injuries. They still find ways to win, ladies and gentlemen. This is not going to be an easy win at all. This is the last home game the Dolphins have. I'm very excited to see this game. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel both know each other, being that they coached together over there with the 49ers and even prior to that with the Redskins. Guys, I, again, only see a path for the Dolphins to win if we score 30 points. Can the Dolphins score 30 points? Yes. The problem is, will they? That's where we're at right now. This is going to be a tough game for the Dolphins. Right now, Dolphins are favored by 1.5 points. You could call that a scratch. It's an even game. I mean, literally, just take your pick. Looks like the matchup is saying 54.4 for the Dolphins. That's all I'm going to go ahead and say because I got the game review on Friday and I'll give you more information in details about that. So stay tuned for the game review. 49ers at Dolphins this Friday, 8 a.m., guys. I appreciate you guys. So go ahead and come out because I'm not going to give it all up today. I gave you a tidbit, and that's all you're going to get. Then we got the Bills at Patriots. This is a divisional mashup. This is one of the three divisional games the Bills are going to be playing. They got the Patriots, and they got the Jets, and they got the Patriots. Ladies and gentlemen, Patriots are 3-11. They've got the third overall pick so far right now. Bills are 11-3. This will be at home for the Bills at 425 as well. And the Bills are favored by 14 points. This should be a blowout. I'm not surprised at all. Holy smokes. There is a 17.4% chance the Patriots win. Listen, I like Drake May and all, but I don't see them beating beating the Bills away. But I don't put them past them. You know what I mean? See, a lot of people forget divisional games are not like regular games. Divisional games, anything can happen. If you don't believe me, ask Tom Brady, the Super Bowl winningest quarterback. He played it against the Dolphins because the one team he has a losing record to. So, yeah, I'm not delusional. I put this as the Patriots are probably not going to come out with the win. Away, maybe at home week 18, that might be a possibility, but right now, no. I don't foresee that at all, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, you got Drake May versus Josh Allen. We already talked about Josh Allen doing it. We got a rookie quarterback on the opposite side. I expect Drake May to learn a lot from this game, obviously being a divisional game, but that's all I can expect from the Patriots. Just trying to get him more in-game experience. That's what you want. Get him to continue to develop. You got the Ramonde, you got James Cook. Those two should be pretty fun to see it on the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being a running game as well, guys. Although we could expect, obviously, for both teams to throw the ball well, it's gonna be up on really the Patriots defense for them to give a shot to the Bills for them to win, in my opinion. Like that, it's gonna be the Patriots. The Patriots defense are gonna have to outperform themselves to be able to try to get that win versus the Bills offense, in my opinion. but very unlikely to happen, ladies and gentlemen. The last five pages are 1 and 4. Bills are 4-1. So tell the two halves, guys. It's just not gonna happen. This game will be at Orchard Park, New York. It's gonna be partly cloudy and 19 degree weather. Ooh, cold and cloudy. Will there be flurries? Not really sure, but it should be fun. Should be a fun game to go ahead and see if you haven't already seen it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you can go ahead and expect. Again, guys, thank you so much for coming through the AFC East show. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. This has been fun, man. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Again, I appreciate all of you guys so much. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button. Share, subscribe. Let everybody else know we are live. Everybody on Twitter and Twitch, thank you so much for coming through. Guys, I need the like button. We got to get to 50 likes. If you haven't done so already, please hit that like button. Okay? Hit that like button. Gravity owns to. You're funny. Oh, you're hilarious. I think once we hit 28, maybe 30 points, they pull Josh. To be honest with you, that's the one thing you guys got to worry about is protecting your quarterback. If you guys don't protect your quarterback, then you're risking it all, which it makes no sense to do so. Now, you still want to be able to get the wins as the Bills because that number one seed is still up for grabs, I guess, now if Kansas City does leave the door open, but they don't have a really tough schedule at all. But the easiest schedule definitely goes to the actual Bills. So hey, if you guys can make it happen and beat the division and win out, I think the Bills have a good chance of getting that first round bye, ladies and gentlemen. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Again, thank you so much for coming through, guys. We got a great, great, great show for you today. That AFC East show. Thank you so much for coming through. Please hit that like button, share, subscribe, let everybody else know we are live. I appreciate each and every single one of you that has come here and made this happen. Also, to come check out tonight, League Wide Wednesday, guys. League Wide Wednesday, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. You can check out Miss Phins and my co-host, Mr. Color Commentary. League Wide Wednesday, we discuss the entire NFL, ladies and gentlemen. The whole NFL, we give you our weekly recaps. We give you our pick'ems for the following week. We even have a special segment, our Impact Player of the Week, which is a lot of fun, guys. So come check that out. And again, you can catch Miss Fins Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern, every 8 a.m. Eastern, guys. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, it's been great. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Let everybody know that you were here. If you're catching the replay, thank you so much for coming through. Much appreciated. You guys are absolutely the best. Take care, guys, and I will catch you tonight on League White Wednesday. Bye bye.